Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 67. The topic for the day is radical denominators. We have already played around with radicals in the denominators, and we know they're no bueno, they're no-go. Get rid of them as fast as possible. And we know there's a pretty easy trick. Multiply top and bottom by whatever the root is, and you'll get something that is much more preferable to the mathematical mind, right? Now, the problem is that sometimes there are radicals more complicated than this. So we're going to learn how to deal with it when they're a little messier. Here is a new word to add to your math vocabulary. Conjugate. A conjugate is kind of like a reciprocal in that it defines a pair of expressions that go together and that have special properties. Let me show you an example. Minus 4 plus the square root of 3. Its conjugate is minus 4 minus the square root of 3. Minus 2 plus bx. Its conjugate is minus 2 minus bx. A minus b. Its conjugate is a plus b. I think you see the pattern. To form a conjugate, what you do is you take a pair of numbers or letters in a binomial and you change the middle sign only. Everything else stays exactly the same, but with a conjugate, you change the middle sign only. And that forms a pair. And so for any one of these expressions, we would say its conjugate is this one. So you can refer to either one, just like with the reciprocal. Either one of them can be the reciprocal of the other. But what's cool about conjugates is that they have a fabulous property when we multiply a conjugate against its partner, just like with reciprocals. There are magical properties. I'm going to show you that in the context of a problem. Let's do it. So, and there are only 2 examples to this lesson. I'm sorry, you're going to just miss me when I'm gone. It says simplify. Now, John does not tell us that having this radical in the denominator is evil. We have to set those alarm bells for ourselves. So as of right now, whenever you see a radical in the denominator, make sure that the alarms in your head start ringing. You might want to warn your math mammals ahead of time so that they're emotionally prepared for these alarms and sirens, because it's going to be a little triggering, dare I say. So spread the word. But you can see that when those alarms go off and we realize, whoop, 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 we have a radical in our midst, a radical in our denominator, it's not as simple as this to get rid of them, because we have a binomial, u. So what we use in these tools is the conjugate. We're going to multiply the denominator times its conjugate, and because we're team players, we have to do it to the top as well, right? So there's the 2 of them going on. Now, to simplify this, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the bottom first, and I always do that on the left side of my page. And then over here, we're going to multiply the top. Spoilers, it's going to be really easy the first time, so it won't be hard. But we have to, later we're going to have really big, hairy messes to clean up. All right, so we're going to multiply minus 4 plus the square root of 3 times minus 4 minus the square root of 3. And we're going to see what happens when you multiply a number by its conjugate. This is the dance, right? This is 16 minus 4 square root of 3. Thank you. Now it's your turn. Plus 4 square root of 3. And then this becomes square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. And then that makes it a minus. So I'm going to put a minus 3 right there. Okay, I simplified it in my head and I wrote the answer right there. Now look what happened. The second and third terms cancel each other out. Happy days, that is always going to happen when you multiply conjugates. The middle term is going to cancel out and you're going to be left with just that part of it. So this is all gone. 16 minus 3 is 13. This is going to be, I mean, I technically should have written denominator, but I don't have that much ink in my markers to write denominator every time. So this is our new denominator. Now this time, in this lesson, John's giving us a pass because it's 1 times that. So it's the same. So we're going to write, I'm sorry. No, that's right. I'm confusing myself. That is our final answer. Okay, so the top, John gave us a pass. We just had to calculate the new denominator, and there it is, that we just multiplied across. Cool, right? Let's do one more. Make sure you have the hang of it. Well, have there been any lessons where there's just one example? Maybe. There are a few weird ones that have no examples, but 2 is pretty much the best you can hope for. Okay, so our fraction is okay. Now, we have to simplify this. The alarm bells are going off. I hope your math mammals have little earplugs that they can put in. How would that work? Would they all have the same size ears? Let's see, what do you guys have? 2 hamsters, and Jeff is a squirrel. I think a squirrel's ears might be bigger. I'm not sure. Anyway, I hope they have various size earplugs. Random fact about me, my ears are very small. And so I can't use earbuds of any kind. They don't fit in my ears. And one day, a couple years ago, I was going to get a hearing test, which I passed with flying colors, in case you're worried. But I went to get this hearing test, and the technician, it was really cool. I had to go into this like padded room, this soundproof room, and listen to all these beeps and things. And they gave me a pair of earbuds to wear so that I could hear, you know, the testing signals. And they fit perfectly. And it was the first time in my life I'd ever had earbuds that fit me. And so after the test was over, I said to the woman who had, you know, the tech who had run the test for me, I said, wow, you know, that was amazing because I've never had earbuds fit me like that before. Like, that was so cool. And without even blinking, she said, oh, I use children's earbuds for your ears. So that's the problem. I have ear openings the size of a child's. So when you buy me let me see if I can remember why I said this. So if I'm getting earplugs to block out the sound of the radicals and the denominator siren going off, you'll need to get me the pediatric size. But see, for us, the signals are going off in our heads. So it would be Sirius, the professor, the cat, that would need them, not actually me. So I guess I told you that whole rambling story for no purpose. I'm really sorry. Sorry, you cannot get those 2 minutes of your life back. Okay, we're multiplying by the conjugate, right? So, again, we only change the middle sign, but we have to do top and bottom. Okay, and if it helps you, draw a box just to remind you that needs to be equal to 1. All right, over here we're going to do the bottom. I always do the bottom first because I want to make sure that my conjugate really canceled the way it was supposed to. If I screwed it up and accidentally wrote the wrong thing here, that will out in this part of the calculation because it won't come out to a nice round number. I thought I was saying wrong number. 2 square root of 3 plus square root of 2, 2 square root of 3 minus. All right, here we go. The wolves multiply to 4. These multiply to 3. 4 times 3 is 12. That was kind of a big first step, wasn't it? It was. It was kind of nutty. Okay, now let's go this way. That's going to be, let's remember we multiply wolves times wolves, pigs times pigs. This is going to be plus 2 times the square root of 6. Okay, now we go this way and we get minus 2 square root of 6. And now we're going to get a whole number again. It's going to be minus 2. So our new bottom is, that cancels, we get 10. Okay, that looks really good. Now for the top, we have a little bit of work to do because it's not a 1 like last time, but it's still pretty easy. It's 3 times the quantity, 2 square root of 3 minus, okay? We don't have to write this as a dance. We could if we wanted, but I just wrote it in distribution form. So it's going to be 6 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 2. Remember, wolves with wolves, pigs with pigs. We don't have any pigs to multiply, but this is a wolf, so he only multiplies against the other wolves. That's an invisible one. All right, and then this goes over 10. I double check because I see, ooh, these two are even wolves, if you will, coefficients. I thought maybe we could factor a 2 out, but not out of the 3. So this is our final answer, and that's correct. Yay! You know what a conjugate is and how to handle it. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, for the next lesson, for lesson 68, I'll remind you at the beginning of that lesson too, but you will need a scientific calculator for that lesson. So grab a phone or whatever. Okay, thanks, bye.